Hello Stampers, it's Linda. I'm finally getting around to posting August Stamp Camp projects. So hopefully you haven't been waiting for practically a month in order to put yours together. Thanks again for coming to my Stamp Camp and stamping with me. Okay, here are the projects we did for the month of August. The first one is this one right here, using that wreath builder punch. And then of course have a nice little matching envelope. So to build that, you of course did your stamping while you were here. And then in your envelope, you should have all the pieces that you did. And we started with a vanilla card base. So you put that down. And then you would go ahead and attach your other purple layer right here, like so. And then the embossed crumb cake layer. Oh, and this was rich raspberry. And your crumb cake layer that's already been embossed with the wood planks. You attach that to it. And then of course I had this part done for you. I had the rich raspberry die cut done for you. So you just go ahead and glue that down. And then I went ahead and glued this other one down kind of right on top of it. This one's done in, let's see, which color was that? I think I had meant to do it in Old Olive, but I think we ended up using Mossy Meadow for that. And then we have 3 flowers. And we're going ahead and pop them up off to the side. And for the center of each of those 3 flowers, you should also have gotten in your packet these little rich raspberry centers. So you pop those up in the center, and then in the very center of those we put these little pearls, and you should have taken 3 of those home with you, or maybe you even put your flowers together while you were here, but just pop those up. And then you would have stamped best wishes, or I think I had a couple other choices, and I used dimensionals to pop that up, and voila, you had a beautiful card when you were all finished. So hopefully those little hints will help you put that card together. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Let's get this out of the way. And yes, we went along with a little bit of alcohol this last time. Here's our whiskey one, the Whiskey Business stamp set. Okay, this was a little bit more work because you did have to do some coloring for this one. And you start with your early espresso card base. And then we ended up with, I believe it's gray granite we used for our next layer. That can go right there. I guess I should get my card going in the proper direction. And then we used a piece of the It's All Good Designer Series paper. And that, of course, all came in your packet. See if I can get it a little bit straight, like so. And then you should also have had a smaller piece of that, same Designer Series paper, but different details, and that's like to the bottom, like for it would be the table. And then you needed to go ahead and stamp your own bottle of the whiskey, and then colored it in with the blends. And then you would have to fussy cut that out. Sorry, there wasn't any die cuts for that. So you would cut that out, and then you did the same thing with 2 glasses of whiskey. You did the coloring, and then you had to fussy cut it out. And then you also had a tag sending you an old-fashioned birthday card that you stamped. And I just punched that out with one of the punches. And then I also punched out an early espresso one, cut that in half. And then that way we could offset it a little bit on either side, just to kind of give a little bit of a border. And I noticed a few of you also took another one of these brown ones, cut it in half the other way, and then had a border going all the way around. And that was perfectly fine too, because punches are pretty easy to do. So then the inside we just decorated like so. We did cheers to you, happy birthday, and then of course we did another, since we love coloring, we did another little tiny glass of whiskey. Also, we used a little piece of the linen thread. I got a frog in my throat today. And we wrap that around the actual whiskey bottle. You can kind of see it right here. And some of us kind of, I think, didn't see that step, but I just wrapped it around the top a few times and then just tied it into a knot. And of course, when we set them on the card, we just set them like so, whiskey bottle kind of in the background, and then the 2 glasses in the forefront. And we also pop this up. And so then the inside, there it is, all finished. And of course, we needed to have the matching envelope because we just love coloring so much. Okay, so let me get those pieces back so I can put that card together eventually. Okay, since we're on the drinking theme, let's go to this next one. Here we have today is a cocktails kind of day. And of course, the little matching envelope. And to do that one, we didn't actually have to color this time. Instead, we had to do some 2-step stamping. Get all these pieces out here. We started with a Whisper White card base, just the regular size. And then we did an embossed layer of Coastal Cabana. And we used, I forget what the name is of this new one that came out in the new catalog, but it's not subtle, it's something else, but it makes kind of a nice little texture. And that we just, don't attach it to your card right away. Just wait and do the top part first. Here we have this nice black layer. And on this layer, we did the stamping. Today is a cocktails kind of day, and then we just randomly stamped the little star things around. Yes, I get a little carried away when I'm doing random stamping. It's like finally I have to say, stop stamping. But you'll just go ahead and attach that to the black layer. And then I put dimensionals on the back of the black layer. And that would get popped up right on to the Coastal Cabana layer. And then I had 2 pieces. I gave you 2 pieces of this sparkly ribbon. And 1 piece I would just wrap around to the back of the Coastal Cabana layer, tape it down. And then we took the second smaller piece of this ribbon and just tied it right in the middle of the front piece. And then we ended up with kind of like a fake bow, so to speak, or just a fake knot thing there. So that needed to be done. And then you stamped your little glass here, your margarita or whatever fancy drink you like. And then we just did 2-step stamping. We stamped, we took the 1 stamp and we put 2 colors on it, yellow and the pink. And then we stamped that in the glass. And then we had a lime over here. We just stamped him in apple green and a Coastal Cabana, what are these things called? Umbrellas. Then you just pop that up right in there. And then basically the front of your, then you can finally attach your Coastal Cabana layer onto the front of your white card base. And then on the inside, we just did birthday wishes in this one. And then we, of course, stamped another glass in there because, you know, if you have 1 drink, you may as well have 2 of them. In fact, I even went to the envelope and we stamped a 3rd one there. And it just helps us practice our 2-step stamping too, which is pretty easy. So that should be a pretty easy card to do. You can mass produce those. Okay, let's sneak all these pieces back so I can build that card in my spare time. What's that? Let's see. Ribbon's a little fussy. Okay. I have that one done. Oops. Okay, let's go on to a fall one. Here's a nice one with leaves. The envelope, of course, we have some leaves. And on the inside of this one, I just had happy birthday and a couple more of those leaves. Okay, we take our card base, and this time we used, I believe this is Sausafran, and we just randomly stamped the leaves all around the edges to give it kind of a bit of a background. And then for the inside, happy birthday, and then a couple more Sausafran leaves. So that would go on the inside. And then on the front, we have all kinds of pieces. First, we have the early espresso, which you would go ahead and No, don't do that one yet. Don't put it down. Take this little piece, kind of looks like a rock, and that's been embossed for you. And then you would go ahead and attach that to the early espresso piece. And then you'll want to take this little piece of the bumblebee or honeybee. I always forget which one it is. I think it's bumblebee ribbon. You'll just wrap that around the center and then tape it on the back. Once you have that done, then you can go ahead and attach it to the card base right about here. Then we're going to take this one that I already cut out for you. I think it's from like one of the Poppy sets, one of the die cuts, stamped My Heart is Grateful for You with the early espresso ink. I went ahead and popped that up right there in the middle. Then we stamped all these little leaves and these acorns, and they were 2-step stamps too. And then we just punched them out because it comes with a 3-leaf or 2 leaves and 1 acorn punch. And then I just attached that with a pop dot. And then I did an acorn. And then I did one of the other leaves. This is Cajun Craze. These other Cajun Craze for the maple leaf, and Saffron for the oak leaf. Then I did the same thing at the bottom, just kind of reversed the order of the leaves. And I went ahead and put those on top, like so. Oops. And then we had a couple extra leaves. To put one up here. There must be another one in my envelope. Let's see if it'll stay there. Oh, up here it is. Another leaf down here. Maybe going the other way. And then also you should have taken 3 of these little rhinestones that I colored using the Cajun Craze blend marker. And I just put the big one down here and 2 little ones up there. And voila, you have a beautiful fall card all ready to go. So let's sneak these pieces back in the envelope so I can build that later. And then we'll go on to our final card. Here's our final card. Life's a Beautiful Journey. Okay, for this one, we went with one of the new in colors, Midnight Muse, I believe it's called. I'm still learning those. Whoops, here's the envelope that goes with the finished card. Okay, so we use this. It's kind of like Night of Navy, but only it's lighter, more subtle. So we start with the card base. For the front, you should have a fairly large piece of white and a piece of Designer Series paper. You can go ahead and attach it. The 2 sides will match each other, but you'll have a little bit of a border in the top and the bottom. And that can go ahead and get attached to your card, again, centered from top to bottom, like so. And then you'll have 3 pieces of this. I ran it, actually I cut them out with stitch rectangles first. It's kind of a little bit subtle to see the actual stitch marks there, but they're there. And then you'll go ahead and center those. And then I also ran them through the embossing folder when I was done. And so I was centered the first one kind of in the middle, top to bottom, left to right. Same thing with the third one, pretty close together. Or I should say the second one, and then the third one. I want to attach them down too snugly until you get it like you want it. And I'm probably not going to stay because they're going to move. So they're set to go. Inside message piece, I just stamped a little compass down at the bottom for that, which looks like I stamped the wrong way, but it'll work. And then I went ahead and used the bases of the globes, and I did this one first. So I just attached this to that, and then this gets attached to the front of the card, kind of about like so, just flat. And then I attached this base to the globe that I stamped in soft suede. And this one I did put some dimensionals on the back and pop that up. So it looks like it's sitting in front of the other globe. Then I snuck Life's a Beautiful Journey kind of underneath that globe. And then just for fun, since it was in the set, we had a little feather pen, and then a little inkwell that we just attached with the feather sticking in it. And of course, we have to have a bow just to kind of make it a little bit cutesy. And we can attach that to the feather pen like so with a glue dot. And then voila, you have a very cool card. And of course, yours will stay in place once you tape it down. And then we have the nice place for the inside message on the inside. And of course, stamp the envelope. This envelope I stamped part of the globe, but I thought that kind of looked silly after I did it. So I decided for Stamp Camp we would go ahead and just try the actual compass there. So okay, I think that's all 5 projects. So hopefully you enjoyed making them. I enjoyed having you at my house to stamp them all, and hopefully you've not been waiting and looking every day for this video, because of course it's taken me a long time. A lot of stuff has been happening. So anyways, I hope to see you next week when I have the September Stamp Camp, and hopefully I won't take so long to make the video after that one. Take care, stay healthy, see you later. Bye.